What's going on, guys? Dr. Bang here. Today we're going to be going over 5 tips that'll make you better on 2K. Me and my boy Chris Betts hit up the Rush 2v2 event and we had some fun. Me and him been playing 2s for a long time now, about 4 years. I'm usually a guard, he's usually a big man, 7'3", max weight, and he dominates the post. You guys are going to see in this video. Now keep in mind, these tips aren't gameplay tips. They're going to be more like mental, high IQ type tips, because what happens in gameplay tips is I'll tell you how to do a dribble move or something, and it's just not easy to comprehend because, you know, I'm talking over a video. It's not easy to understand. But if you use these tips, you can beat players that are better than you gameplay-wise just by outsmarting them. So tip number 1 I got for you guys is knowing your role. It's so crucial in this game to know your role, what you play best as. Are you a shooter? Are you a defender? Are you a playmaker? What are you? If you figure that out and you know which one you do best, you'll be most effective in this game, I promise you. But at the same time, don't force a role upon yourself. Like, if you want to be this great playmaker, but you really just can't do it, I mean, you could practice as hard as you want and then you could maybe become it. But I would try to make different builds. It's going to cost you probably about $300, but make a bunch of different builds. Try to figure out what your niche is. Try to figure out how can you be most effective on the court. Tip number 2, and this is the most important tip I have, to be honest, playing with IQ will win you games. You might not be the best player, but if you play smarter than the other player, you will win. I say that as I miss a wide open 3, but look at Chris Betts with a nice drop step right into the bucket. But as I was saying, IQ is so important. I always try to be at least 2 steps ahead of the other player. Like, I'm trying to predict exactly what the average 2K player would do and just outsmart them and do the exact opposite of what they would do. On this play, you'll see I read the defender and I'm making the play as soon as I see it. So he's staying back right here, and I see that as soon as I start to go up. So I'm taking that shot right away. I'm not hesitating at all. Now sometimes, obviously, I do hesitate, because right here I probably should have took it, but I thought he was going to come over. But it's better to be safe than sorry. But people are so bad at this game. I know this is the Rush event, but look, those people are jumping like crazy. Chris isn't even doing any pump fakes. He's just dribbling. So just be patient, honestly. That should be another tip, to be honest. Patience is so key in this game. If you just have patience, people will just give up, and they'll just jump or stop playing defense or stop following you when you're running for a shot. So yeah, IQ is so important. Just start to try to learn how other players work. Like right here, there's a double, Chris kicks it. That's easy. As soon as you see an opportunity like that, you gotta take it. I mean, I could even pass it back to him because they both came out on me. But it's very easy to be smarter than the other player in this game. Tip number 3 is pretty simple, but I think it needs to be said. And it's funny because I just got fucking crossed up, but it's defense, and defense is so important. It actually goes hand in hand with IQ too, because playing defense, half the game is just kind of guessing or predicting what the other player is going to do, and you gotta kind of trick the other player into thinking they're open a lot of the time. Some good advice I have on playing defense on ball when people are dribbling is, it seems to be a common theme that if you just pay attention, players love driving baseline. It's very rare that you see a player that consistently goes for the middle of the paint. Like, they always love driving baseline, probably because there's less help. So I try to guard people and force them to go to the middle of the hoop. They won't do it. I promise you. Try in the next game. Just force a guy to go to the middle, stay on his left or his right, whatever side's closest to the sidelines, and just force him to go in. Look at that step back move. That's a kill move right there. But anyway, another tip for defense I got is I've gotten incredibly good at reading the passing lanes, and stealing is such an art in this game. You got to just learn it and time it. Sometimes it really does fuck you over. Like, you'll go for a steal and you'll be completely out of the play, but most of the time it's really rewarding. So just try to focus on the player with the ball and see when it looks like they're going to pass it. Like, it looks like when they've given up or when it looks like the other player is really open. Get in between that passing lane and just time X correctly. So look at this guy. As soon as I talk about driving baseline, and especially slashers, love momentuming baseline. Look, Chris takes him right, then he goes left, momentums, does a reverse. Everybody loves driving baseline, especially slashers. So if you could just block them off, try to get in their way, it could disrupt them pretty badly here. Watch, he takes me baseline, and I fall for it too. and I'm the one giving the fucking tips. So I mean, you got to try to just learn how to do it. I mean, you'll get caught sometimes, and that's just gonna happen. But if you could prevent it more than it happens, then you're set. So look at this. As I say that about the stealing, I'm in the passing lane. It looks like he was gonna be open, but I saw that, read it, got in the passing lane, got a tip on it. I mean, they still scored, but still, getting those tips and those steals is so effective in this game. And here this guy goes again, going reverse, baseline. It's easy to jump at that. I don't think Chris meant to. He might have just put the stick up, and sometimes it makes you jump up on that. So yeah, next time you're playing, just keep an eye out for that. It actually becomes laughable once you realize the pattern of how people just go baseline all the time. Alright, so tip number 4 is simply know the game. Now, what I mean by that is mess around with the dribble moves. If you even learn 1 or 2, like the moving behind the back, this curry slide, I mean, it's cheese, but sometimes I don't like to spam it. I never spam it really, with screens especially. But if I want to just get open on a 1v1 real quick, I'll hit it once and then pull it like that. But just learning just simple dribble moves, or for example, Chris Betts here, he's incredible at the post. He's been playing in the post for about like a year. He's started in 2K19 and he's been doing so good ever since. Look, he pump fakes, get him jumping, got him again. He's not doing anything crazy. He's literally just doing a simple drop step move and then a pump fake. And people jump at it all the time. I see it all the time. You'll see it in these videos. That was a great play there. I knew he was gonna drag left, so I pulled him right, waited to stop, and then popped the shot. It's all a part of knowing the game. I mean, right there, he made that layup because he was taller. I mean, there's just so much that you can learn from this game that'll make you play better. Like, I know how to shoot pretty well, as I missed that shot. But the mechanics of getting open in this game are very simple, or at least I think they are. And if you guys want a video on how to shoot better, I'll post that too. But it's a very simple concept just to learn the game. Look, nice pump fake, get him jumping, got in front of him, put the layup in. I mean, it's simple stuff. It's not that hard. I'm not telling you guys some crazy dribble animation or anything that you gotta do a bunch of combinations with the sticks. All he's doing is pressing X. I mean, it's really easy shit. Now, tip number 5 is another simple tip, but it's so crucial to the game, and it's chemistry. Now, chemistry, you can't just get that. You gotta kind of work on it. You gotta know each other's play styles. Like, me and Chris Betts have been playing for so long that we know exactly what we are capable of. So we play very well together. And you gotta just find the people/person that you play really well with. I think everybody can relate to me when I say this. When you play with someone who just doesn't get the game or is just terrible at it, misses you on back doors, you're wide open in the corner, they're not giving it to you, they're not passing at the right moments, they're shooting dumb shots. It just sucks to play with someone like that. So you gotta just get the right people, learn how to play together, and you'll start working like a well-oiled machine. So that's about it for my 5 tips, but if you put all these together, I promise you'll start playing better. I mean, it's not a gameplay thing. It's really just put yourself in the right position and you will win. It's inevitable. I mean, it'll take time for sure, but you just gotta learn the game and you'll win. And from there, you'll be better at the game just with experience. The more you play, the better you'll get, gameplay-wise especially. Now watch this spin, got him on my back. He can't guard that. That's like wide open, green, every day. That's unguardable, honestly. But yeah, those are my 5 tips, my 5 realistic tips, I would say, because it's impossible to learn these controls overnight if you trying to do combos and shit like that, but just mentally being above the opponent gets you such an advantage, and it makes it way easier to win. So think about these tips and while you're playing and try to, enforce them. And I appreciate you if you've stayed this far in the video. Please drop a like and subscribe. I got way more content coming in the future. We got 2K21 Next Gen coming out. I am so excited for that. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to be going over like the gameplay we got here and just giving my opinions on the game and stuff. So thank you for sticking around. So let's get into the rest of the video here. So me and Chris were playing these 2 big guys, and whenever we play 2 big guys, it is scary, obviously. I mean, I'm 6'5", not much I could do here. I was especially scared when I saw this post hook, if you know what I'm talking about. When you see that aim, the center aim, and they get that green every time, it's so cheesy, and I can't wait. I hope this isn't in 2K21, because it really, ruin the game if someone spams it. For next gen, I just really hope... This is my problem with 2K. It's the only game I know that... Maybe not the only game, but off the top of my head, it's the only game I know where you can be better than the other player, but somehow get cheesed out of a win, or like out of a play. Like, you know you outplayed the other player, but just because the game is so shitty, it somehow rewards the worst player. That never happens in COD. In COD, you'll just get outplayed sometimes, and same thing with Halo or something. You just get outplayed, or Rocket League, Fortnite, any of these games. But for 2K, it just gets so frustrating because you'll get cheated over and over again, and you want to just fucking throw your remote to the TV. Now, I don't think any of this is going to change in the next gen 2K. I mean, come on, it's 2K. We know how this works. But I would just appreciate if they didn't have anything like the Curry slide, because that's so abused. I just got banged on. But it's so abused, and it ruins the game. The post hook is terrible. There's always something. There's always something in 2K. Let's say 2K18, they had the snatchback pull-ups. That was automatic greens, unguardable. 2K19, they had shoving. You could literally assault the guy and get away with it for fucking months. It didn't get fixed for so long. People would just shove, and it took no skill. It was so frustrating. And it just is so consistent with 2K that bullshit's in the game. So let's go to 2K20. What do we have? Unguardable hop steps. That shit was literally impossible to guard. They would go from the top of the key and fucking teleport to the bottom and dunk on you every single time. It was so annoying. So I'm just hoping for the next gen 2K that, I mean, there's always going to be bullshit. I can't even act like there's not going to be, but because the 2K community just loves spamming unguardable moves all the time. But I just want a good game, and I do think it's going to be good. The gameplay looks good. The content I've been reading has looked pretty good. The badge system makes sense. I like how the My Player Builder, you can make your own player. That's cool. So, I mean, we'll just see. I'm pretty excited, but at the same time, it's 2K, so I really don't want to get my hopes up at all, because I know they'll just be let down. But we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, we were just getting spammed alley-oops on here. I just couldn't stop them. I mean, I'm 6'5". I don't know. Sometimes when you play these two bigs, it's fucking hard to guard, man. It's impossible sometimes. And I honestly was a little worried here because the post takeover is so good that I didn't know we were going to get a stop. But I told Chris, if we could just stop the alley-oops, we'll be set. Right here, they fuck up. We get a chance, get the ball back, and now we're in the driver's seat. But I want to talk about what the hell happened to big guys in this game? What, their balls drop off? Like, what? See Chris bodying these little boys? I mean, it's so hard for him to not make a 7'3", max weight, max wingspan player every year because no one makes that anymore, and he just bodies everyone that he goes against. I mean, it's clear people want to shoot. Like, shooting has become the game. Everyone makes a little 6'9" center that could do a little bit defense and shoot pretty well. But, I mean, you see it here in this gameplay. Chris is unstoppable. I mean, there are some times when he slips up, obviously. It's going to happen. But for the most part, he does these post moves, these drop steppers. He just bodies people. Like, look at this. Drop step, breaks them, puts it up. Easy. So simple. You could call it cheese, but honestly, it's not cheese. Just make a bigger fucking guy. And once he gets takeover, he's got max strength. So, I mean, it's impossible to guard him. He's got 10 plus strength on there. So look, he just gets it. It's just, I've seen this a million times. He backs him down, does the drop step, hits him, gets him out of the way, and puts it up. I mean, bring back, in 2K21, let's bring back the centers. Let's bring back classic centers. Big dudes that can't shoot, but they destroy the paint. They could play defense. I miss that. But anyway, we got our last two guys here, our last game where we have to win for the Rush W. We get two small guys. I never get the point of that. If you're playing duos, or twos, whatever you want to call it, you got to do the classic big guy and guard. I feel like if you have two small guys, you're just never going to win because the big guy is so dominant in this game. Size matters, just like in basketball. I mean, it's just how it is. That's the game. And whenever me and Chris Betts see this type of team where they're two small guys, we just force him the ball because, I mean, why wouldn't you? There's such an advantage over the height. It's so easy. And then once they realize it's unstoppable, they start doubling him. Look, they leave. Chris will give me that ball every time. He doesn't care. He knows I'll make the shot. I give it right back to him. They're jumping like crazy. And at this point, we know we won. But yeah, I mean, that could be a bonus tip, honestly. It's just when you have an advantage, say height or speed or anything, take advantage of it and make them force the issue. Try to play through it and create opportunities for other people. Like, Chris is so big here. He can go up with any layup and it won't be contested. I mean, it's just, why wouldn't we take that? I feel like people do so much extra shit in this game. Like, they spam screens. They fucking just curry slide back and forth. I feel like we can make this game so much better if we just play with IQ instead of... It just makes it feel like such a video game when people exploit the game like that. I mean, it's unguardable to guard those guys who sit behind screens all game. And how is that fun for the big guy? Like, me and Chris have fun because we don't, like, I don't make him my bitch. Like, I don't make him fucking screen me all game. Like, I want one of those centers to look me in the eye and tell me that they actually enjoy watching their point guard go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth all game while they just sit there and hold B. I don't know. It's just a little sus to me. I don't know. But that's not how we play the game, you know? We try to have fun here. We're going to wrap this up real quick here. Just a nice, easy... I mean, they're not even guarding me now. Just that's greens all day. I got takeover. Thank you guys for watching the video. I had a great time recording this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you stayed this long, I really appreciate it. And you know I just had to end this with a nice step back 3. Bang! I'll see y'all in the next video.